welcome to the X Trials, the final stop before we head to San Francisco for the X Games. Sal Masekela chilling with you in Nashville, Tennessee, right here in front of the majestic Adelphia Coliseum, home of the AFC champion Titans. I think those are the guys that lost the Super Bowl by a yard. I'm not trying to hate on Tennessee, but a yard, I know it's got to hurt. Anyway, we're not talking about football right now. We're talking about inline park and inline vert. There's a bunch of people here that are trying to qualify for the X Games. And basically, you know, not qualifying for the X Games, you know, you imagine it's August, San Francisco, everyone's at the X Games, and you're sitting on the couch watching all your friends competing, and you're going, man, I could have been there. I could have been a contender. That should have been me. I could have been somebody. I could have qualified for the X Games. Well, they're going to try and do that here. So competition is going to be a lot of things. And, of course, you got to deal with Cesar Mora and all these other guys that are amazing, that are making it difficult for you to even concentrate because they're so good. And so, without further ado, there'll be no more talking from Sal Masekela, just inline comp here at the X Trials in Nashville, Tennessee.
"17 skaters out here on the vert ramp for the final, of which only 8 have pre-qualified for Summer X. Also, very strong Australian field.
You and Sessa are both going into this contest with a lot of confidence. Yasutoko's on here. Which one's going to take it out?
You know what? I'm not really thinking about it, to tell you the truth. I'm actually just thinking about that one trick because I tried it in a run and I fell, so I'm actually just kind of concentrating on it. I'm just going to tell myself to have fun with it and land, and I should land it. So.
Well, good luck. I hope you land it, mate.
Thanks, man.
Salerno making reference to the 900 that he had that helped him win the World Championships last year. Andre Engelhard, here's a guy who's also been working on his own 900s.
There's a lot of young talent out at this event, Mark. It's kind of a depleted vert field. We don't have the Yasutoko brothers. A lot of the top Europeans aren't here, so it's a good opportunity for some of these younger guys to make a name for themselves.
Andre also skating out here from Pennsylvania, representing his brother. He's also out here in the field. Mark Engelhard, who's a guy who actually is known for doing big spins. One of the first to try the 1080 and the 900 in competition.
Finishing off with the fakie 720. He showed a lot of good lip tricks, mix it up with the airs. Solid run, but lacked a little bit of amplitude.
And as you can see there, it's only the better of 2 runs that count here in the finals, so it's sort of all on the line. Everybody wants to be consistent so they get a solid first score, but at the same time, Salerno has to land some big tricks like he talked about, going for the huge 900 here.
That's right. We haven't seen the 900 from Matt Salerno after he showed it to us last year at the championships. There's the 900 right there. So it looks like he's got it back in his vocabulary, which pretty much makes it official that he's got every single trick to his credit now. No one puts the runs together like Matt Salerno. He mixes up lip tricks, inverts, airs, puts them all back to back to back.
Using the ramp well, going both directions there with the alley-oop porn star.
And setting up here. See how he's going to try and finish this run, hopefully on a strong point.
There's his newest trick of all, the flat spin 540. Matt, for some reason, had never really tried it until just a couple of weeks before this competition, making it look easy. Here's the 900. Check out his head leading the way all the way around. Perfect execution, then up and over. The newest, those 2 tricks are definitely going to help him. Salerno obviously is on top.
Matt, you did what you said you were going to do. You landed the flat spin and you got the 900 back. But how about the line? You know, is that something you're working on as well?
Yeah. The line will be better on this one, I hope. I pulled out a little bit on the 900, so I lost a bit of speed. Woo! But that's kind of a warm-up run, you know. This run I'm going to try and just go a bit higher and just get nuts.
Fabiola Claus says that if the girls do well enough in the prelims, they can skate against the guys in the finals. Fabiola all week in practice was blasting off those airs. Now she's got the height to compete against the guys. She's always had the tricks and the style. If she goes huge 540 over the channel, Fabiola has a very good chance at placing very well here at this event.
Well, Fabiola's been working on her consistency, but you'll notice she's also going super huge because she's been spending all of her time in Southern Cal skating with Mike Budnick and Cesar Mora.
Mixing up her line, going alley-oop backside. Coming back the other way, using the whole ramp. And fish brain with good style on it, getting her leg back, not like John Hooley or Josh Petty do.
Wow, she hasn't missed one trick yet, coming up fakie into the invert.
Very good run so far from Fabiola. Alley-oop topside porn star. Last trick for Fabiola. Come back the other way. Alley-oop 270, backside royale. An incredible run from Fabiola. Had every single element in there and done well.
Great consistency, Fabiola, looking confident. The big airs, grabbing stale there. 540 over the channel. No worries. This is the new improved Fabiola da Silva.
All right, Fabiola, there's been talk of it over the last couple of months. You really are starting to cut it with the guys. Today, you've really lifted your consistency, you know. What's up?
I don't know, I was having fun. Skating with Cesar all week, trying to learn tricks, so that's all I did.
Got anything special for us in the second run? I mean, that first run was almost perfect.
I think I'm gonna try to throw a couple of tricks more, that's it.
So Fabiola da Silva right now sits in third place overall. Salerno, a pretty solid 70 to kick things off, but we haven't seen everybody yet.
ESPN Trials Nashville.
Has been brought to you by Motorola. By Mountain Dew. Take a bite out of life, then wash it down with a dew. And by 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
We've seen some great skating from Matt Salerno and the like, but we've still got some top talent yet to come, including Sven Bokhorst, the #1 ranked street skater in the world, but he's no slouch on vert.
Talk to me. Only talk. Talk to me.
Talk.
Sven, you recently became #1 in the world on street. Was that something that you kind of set out to do at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, it was always like one thing what I wanted to do, but it's not the end of the year, so you never know.
You do so many tricks so consistently.
The important thing when you do a run, if you have a good line and you feel good about your run, then you normally do like good skating.
There's that sort of Southern California scene, the future prospects. Then there's you and the European. What do you think of those different types of factions in street skating?
I think like the skaters in California, they are like, I think everything started like in videos and stuff like that. So if they come to Europe, they are really like heroes. European are more like, I don't know, doing competitions maybe, and not so many times in videos.
Do you ever watch other people and go, hey, that's a good trick, I'm going to try that in my run?
I think it's not good to copy tricks from other people. It's better to think, your own tricks.
Going into the X Games late in the season, have you kind of already started thinking about that?
Yeah, I think it's a really big competition, and it's one of the things that I would like to win.
Thanks, man. Well, Sven Bokhorst drops in for his first run. I think secretly he'd like to be the #1 vert skater as well. It's just people don't expect big things from him on vert.
Well, not anymore. Sven actually has been one of the top contenders, and he has the tricks to do it, especially on the lip. But he's become so prolific on street, winning so many events, coming in with 3 victories on street into this event, that I think people have started to forget about him on vert.
As they shouldn't. Check that out. Alley-oop fish brain there. He also spun into the backside royale and took it all the way across about 5 panels.
Well, and that's exactly how Sven has to do it. You see him there going big fakie 540, and he's got the 720s and all that. But if he's going to win a vert competition, he's got to do it with the technical element on the lip.
Oh,
and you
down
can't
there
miss soul grind.
on the soul grind. That's surprising. That's such a consistent trick for him. Check this out. Great style backside royale all the way across. Good distance on it. Then coming back the opposite direction, the alley-oop fish brain, holding it nice. Perfect style. The 66 puts him right now in 4th place.
Sam Fogarty, come out of Melbourne, Australia, is another one of these skaters that is just as good on vert as they are on street.
One of many Australians who have been dominant at both. Comes from a long legacy starting with Tom Fry way back in the day. Then if you look at Matt Salerno, who's been a world champion and an X Games champion on street and vert. And here's another guy, Mike Budnick, who's been very good, had his success already this season with a win on Vert in Louisville, and he's a solid street skater as well.
Mike Budnick has been so consistent, so good for so long that I think people get used to seeing him around third, fourth, fifth position. It's always a surprise when he wins, but he has the talent and the experience to do it. Another good opportunity here against this field and the way he's been skating, especially on this ramp. It's got the channel and the big roll in, and one of the areas where Mike's really able to distinguish himself is by putting together good lines and actually using the nuances of the ramp. This one's got that channel, and you see him going both ways. Now he's coming sweat stance over the channel.
You know, it's interesting because Mike had a reputation of being a guy who could really only skate small vert ramps. This one is by no means small. It's huge. It's almost 12 feet. It's got the big channel. It's got the extensions. And he's just making mincemeat of it.
Yeah, he's already gone over the channel 3 times, going back and forth. And the last thing he did was the alley-oop fish brain over the channel, which is a super difficult trick, and then finishing off with the spin. So it's a really solid, creative run for Mike Budnick, really utilizing the ramp.
Case in point, as you notice, they're coming up fakie on the nice backside grind.
All right, Mike, first round, you're one of the only guys that have come out and put a really good run together. Sam Fogarty was amazed. You know, what are you doing different to everybody else out here today?
I don't know, it seems like I don't get to skate a lot of vert, so I'm just doing the tricks that I know I can land. A lot of people out here are pushing themselves, and they deserve all the credit. I deserve none of the credit. I'm just doing the stuff I know. And you got people like Sessa going huge 720s over the channel, Fabiola ripping it up, and everyone knows that in the second round, if they put their runs together, they're going to be right on top. So let's just wait and see.
Well, the consistency of Mike Budnick right now puts him in second. The big guts of Cesar Mora and Shane Yost have them sitting outside the top 5.
This is Matt Salerno, this is my friend Random Marino, and we're here to tell you to stay tuned to the Extras.
Hi, I'm Derek Gunn. The Eagles made some...
Hopefully a Matt Salerno in training. Right now, Salerno sits on top of the field with 1 run down. Marco DeSantis sits in 3rd place, up for his 2nd run right now. He is very happy because he's sitting in a position to qualify for X.
Starting out with that huge flat spin over the channel. Now setting up with these high airs around 6 or 7 feet. Upside down with the inverted 540 and then going the other way 540.
All right, Marco, you've come across from the street course. This is your first ever Pro Vert contest against the likes of Cesar Mora. What's it like out there?
Yeah, I feel good, but I want to get a cool place, but it's my first time in a vert ramp in X Trials, and I want to go good.
And go good he is doing right now, sitting in position to qualify for X Games 2000. VRL's like the mystery guy, shows up to competitions every now and again and just starts hucking himself.
That was awesome. Huge card backflip over the channel, coming back the other way over the channel to Disaster Royale, upside down with the invert. The first 3 tricks already we've seen 3 different elements. Such a stylish skater as he sets up fakie, the fakie 900.
Good enough for a 65.75. VRL, do not count him out. Some very difficult tricks.
Don't ask him for an autograph either. Matt Salerno came out and won the X Trials event in Richmond, Virginia last year. One of many victories that he's got beneath his belt. Trying to earn another one here. Starting out with a lot of steam way up in the air. Looks like he was about the 7 or 8 foot range on his first couple of airs as he tweaks back that signature Salerno air.
Well, I can tell you this, a 70 is not going to be enough to win this contest. I think Salerno knows it. Landing the 900, he's got to step it up this run if he wants to beat guys like Shane Yost, Cesar Mora, and even Budnick.
Well, in the second rounds, when all these guys know they have to raise their levels, he goes Disaster Soul over the channel.
Big 720. He's always been so good at spins. He spins both natural and unnatural. There's a little eggplant McTwist. I say little, but it's actually not an easy trick at all. Getting upside down, rotating off your arm 540 degrees.
Alley-oop topside porn star. Great run from Matt Salerno. Had all the elements in it as he goes Disaster Soul grind. It's one of the basic grinds, but has always been one of the most difficult. And then the 720.
I landed the 900.
You know, not as good as I wanted to, but it was good enough to be able to pull a switch 720 out of it. So, you know, but I'm actually happy. But we're gonna see. This is where the comp's gonna change, right? I mean, it could change right here.
He understands that Fabiola da Silva, although she sits in 4th place, if she steps it up, she could actually make things really change here.
She's got so much time in the air. Now she's actually getting 2 pumps out of those tweaks. Grabbing it mute and then tweaking it back, tweaked mute, almost method. Her airs are so high. It's awesome to watch. We've been watching Fabiola for many years as she goes 540 straight into 720.
Look at the control. She doesn't waste any walls there, coming up, grabbing stale even on the fakie air. Now working the coping.
She goes alley-oop, backside royale.
Nice fish brain frontwards.
Great style on that fish brain, too. Setting up the fakie, 0 spin into the invert.
And if you remember when they talked to her earlier in the first round, she said she wanted to do more tricks. The only trick I know is that one, the big flat spin that she didn't do in her first round. She nailed it.
That was awesome. An incredible run from Fabiola da Silva. The other skaters are giving it up for Fabiola. You know, a woman has never taken a top 3 podium position in a men's vert competition or finals vert competition, finishing off that new flat spin in competition. Incredible. And it's good enough to put her into 2nd place. Could be history in the making. Leaderboard looks like this. Matt Salerno still holding on to that #1 spot, but what a story. Fabiola da Silva moving into 2nd place, followed by Mike Budnick.
You're going to see all of them this summer in San Francisco for the X.
We're in Nashville at the X Trials, and you're watching Inline Vert.
Hard. So y'all check it out. Stay tuned.
Back in the vert round, we are winding down, or should I say winding up. Mike Budnick still has 1 run to go, putting the pressure on. So does Jaron Grobe. Here's a guy like Sven Bokerst who's gotten so good on street that people almost forget about him on vert.
Well, Jaron doesn't come in with the same credentials on vert that Sven does. He's always exciting to watch, especially on the street course, but in the beginning he used to be sort of out of control on the vert ramp, and you can see now that he's getting more confident, more familiar, mixing up the lip tricks. All these skaters bring such a good street style to the vert ramp. And it's nice to see all the different styles. You know, the differences from Matt to Sven to Jaron.
And to this guy, Mike Budnick, he right now needs to step it up. He sits in 3rd place behind Fabiola da Silva. He's got more than he did in his first round.
Huge air, blasting way out of the coping, tweaking back that tweaked mute. Drifting fakie over the channel.
Fakie airs are so cool. They're so floaty. You don't turn. You just kind of let your body go.
It's real easy to come out on a fakie air and land really low. So it's harder than it looks sometimes. Transferring, sweat stance over the channel. This is where Mike has really separated himself in this advantage, using that channel as he goes disaster, alley fish brain, and then into that signature invert, holding it out.
3 solid disaster to grinds over the channel so far. There's the 720 landing a little bit low, but keeping it going.
How you like that? He saw Matt Salerno do the flat spin, Fabiola do a flat spin. He knew he had to bring out something that we don't see a lot from him in competition. 720 is one of Mike's bigger tricks, and we don't see it a lot.
Nice 540 in the run. He did a couple great spins. Then here, this is really what sets him apart. Coming up with a nice sweat stance across. And he moves up into 2nd place with a 71.25. Now he waits for his sparring partner on vert, Cesar Mora.
Talk to me. It's only talk. Talk to me.
Talk.
Right now, I think I'm in #2. By the end of the year, I want to be back up to #1. I'm still focused. I still want it. I'm not lackadaisical. I'm not at the point where my career's going down. I have to put more attention onto the coping. It's just to be a more complete skater. That's what you have to do. I'm going to start doing my disasters again, the 720 disasters, the big 540 ones. That's just stuff that no one does. Fakie 1260 is something that I'm hoping to land in one of the competitions. 900 disaster forwards. It's something that I think I can do. All I want to do is just skate fluently, skate like a real vert skater. Right now, when I watch Lincoln Ueda, the skateboarder, he skates so beautifully. He just flows and he's so big and everything is smooth. That's how I want to be, just big and big spins one to the other just link it with everything else. I'm not so much worried about chucking a gymnastics flip or anything like that. I just want to get it looking nice and just, you know, doing what I used to do. About winning, I don't know, anyone can win. I just want to do well. Like, I just want to stay consistent, top 3 all the time. Once you start slipping out of that top 5 week in, week out, then, you know, you don't feel happy with yourself. So I'm not even close to that yet, so I'll do my best.
Cesar in the first round went so big that he paid the price going down on some of the riskier moves here, trying to step it up in the second.
What killed Cesar in the first round, he was going for a 720 over the channel, and he's usually so consistent at 720. It's something he's been doing longer than anyone virtually. Same old story. Here in the second round, that 720 is killing him, but he avenges himself, redeems himself with that 1080.
And the big 1080 puts him still, despite the fall, in the top 5. Marco DeSanti qualifies for 2000X, but Fabiola da Silva, the first time a woman has made the top 3.
The oldest guy up there.
All right. I don't know. I still feel like I'm 16 years old. I'm still having a great time, and coming to these events is just the best. I'm having a blast.
You know you don't look 16, right?
Yes, I do. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fabiola, you turned 21 this weekend. This couldn't be a better birthday present, huh?
Yeah, I had fun. I'm excited about it, and I don't care if I take top 3 or not. I'm still excited to be here.
And the most excited of all, Matt Salerno moved all the way from Australia to Southern Cal to perfect his skating.
Where do you think, if anything, you need to improve to get the X Games gold and, walk away with the World Championship again?
What do I have to do?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to definitely throw down the 9, more consistent than I have. Learn a 1080 real quick, and just learn a bunch of big tricks, because, don't forget about Aton and Takeshi, they weren't here. The day probably would have been a completely different day if they were here, so...
In just a few moments, we're heading over to the park.
We're standing in front of ESPN.com. It's the best online coverage of action sports going right now. Are you guys down for the scavenger hunt? Oh, yeah! Right. Go, 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 go! A pocket full of ice. Scavenger hunt coming. We got some ice. Put an autograph from the cop. Thank you very much. We'll take it. We need a cup of Mountain Dew. Go, 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 go! Don't spill it. Scavenger hunt coming through. Got the mustard. Bottle cap. We need a girl with blue eyes, and your t-shirt's kind of wet. So there we go. Scavenger hunt coming through. Circus City Carabiner. Go, 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 go! Woo! Finally have reached success here at the ESPN.com scavenger hunt. We hype for X Games or what? Yeah! You get the picture. Log on to ESPN.com, baby. I'm gonna go dry off.
20 questions. 20! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 questions.
First question. What's my worst fear? Getting beat up by Mike Bundy. Jello or pudding? J-E-L-L-O. Who do you admire the most in your sport? Chris Edwards, most definitely. Who's your favorite superhero? This is very important to me. Spider-Man, definitely. If you could have any car in the world, what would it be? Oh, this is easy. Sean Robertson's M3, only I'd put twin turbo on it. What was your worst job? Oh God, I was a shoe salesman. It sucked. Within your sport, whose style do you admire most? Style that I admire most? I definitely admire Frankie Morales's and Shane Scour's style the most. Oh, we're done! We're done! All right, we're done. Sweet.
Seething with excitement. Freestyling, high flying, gravity defying. That is the exclamation point of a champion.
X Games 2000 returns to the city by the bay. This summer, the X Games take you on an adrenaline rush that'll keep you up for weeks.
Their way to qualify for the X Games. Mike Budnick, we saw him rip it up on the vert. out here on the street, definitely liking this course.
Liking that start to his run, too. Starting out with a creative line with a little backside royale and then into the flat bank. Starting out with a lot of lip tricks as he goes frontside royale, alley porn star, taking advantage of every opportunity to get in a different grind, sweat stance, working his way around the course.
This course, although despite having some big quarter pipes and launches, also has tons of flat planters, which means each skater out here has the opportunity to do more tricks, really show the judges their proficiency on the lip.
So he goes fakie 720 over the spine. Yeah, there's so many opportunities to do tricks, even when you're on top of a deck. Normally a quarter pipe, you know, you just stand on top of the deck, but they've got rails up on top of the decks, ledge boxes. Everywhere you go, there's opportunity for tricks. You go sweat stance all the way down the rail, and we saw him go over the gator pit, which is very dangerous.
It's a good 12-foot drop if you don't make it. Now going for the nice launch, but again, to disaster. This run filled with lip tricks. Surprising for Mike Budnick, who does more launches usually than lips. Nice 720. Here was the sweat stance all the way down the rail.
Mike Budnick, another final from where I'm sitting. Your first run looked pretty flawless. Right at the end there, you know, you went for it, but still a sick run.
Thanks a lot. It's been kind of rough with the weather, a little bit of rain, so hasn't been a lot of good consistent practice time, but everyone seems to be putting together pretty good runs, so it still should be good.
And that rain has made it so that one of the competitors had to leave. So 9 competitors out here, 65-second runs, and only the best one of 2 will count here in the final. Aaron Feinberg, so dominant over the years. He's been #1 for 2 seasons in a row. Took first in Portland, one of many wins. Right now he sits in second, however, behind Sven Bokerst in the rankings.
Aaron Feinberg is back as he goes big flat spin 540 over the box. That's a new trick for Aaron Feinberg this year, and then that's signature Aaron Feinberg. Soul grind down that dangerous rail.
Got the gator pit, and then surprisingly, he goes down at the end of the flat rail. I mean, that's not a spot that you think an Aaron Feinberg would ever go down on.
Well, but Aaron makes every trick more difficult than it really needs to be, and that's why he's always on top. He was going for a 540 spin out of that grind up the rail, and he wasn't able to hold on to it. Topside acid down the rail. It's so unfortunate because he's such a great skater, and obviously watching this run, he's got the tricks, the difficulty. He goes fakey 180 to fish brain, but nowadays in the finals, and he falls again. If you go down, it's hard to win. You got guys like Sven Bokerst, you know, who are not going to miss a trick.
But if you take another little flashback, look at Aaron Feinberg at the World Championships last year in October. He fell in his first run in the prelims, went down so hard that he chose to only take 1 run in the finals. That's all it took. The highest score of the season. Then here, when he's on, he's unbelievable. When he's not, he goes down pretty hard.
He should avoid that rail in the second round.
67.25, respectable despite the falls because the difficulty was so high.
Sam Fogarty came out and skated great. He's been working on some new tricks all year long. He's got the new rotation. That's like one of the only true flat spin 540s. And then Huck in the 900. This is what he's been working on at every contest, either 720 or 900 over the box.
Big props to Sam Fogarty for going for the big 900 in front of his girlfriend who came all the way out from Australia. Budnick's having a heck of a day sitting in first. Thirsty for an alternative? Quench yourself here. From snowboarding to skateboarding to freestyle Moto X, it's all right here on ESPN. Check out the ASA Pro Tour this season on ESPN and ESPN2. Riders from all over the world will brandish their blades in pursuit of the title. Watch and learn. Things will change. Mike Budnick sits in first place, Aaron Feinberg in second, but Sven Bokerst, who's won 3 in a row, has not yet skated, nor has this guy, Mr. Creativity, Nick Riggle.
Nick Riggle comes out of Santa Rosa, California. Northern California is really known for innovating in rollerblading. They've come up with a lot of the trick vocabulary and creative lines like this. Nick Riggle showing off that Northern California style and just missing the negative Mizu. Something that only a couple of guys are doing on tour. Jeremy Penachini does those a lot nowadays.
Negatives are very difficult. Oh, check that out. Creativity there. One wheel, kind of like a manual roll.
And then backside Parfingnugan up that ledge box into the transition. Nick finding a really nice way around the course. So he goes 540 over the box, straight into the soul to soul.
Isn't that a song? Soul to soul?
Soul to soul, a song or a group as he goes for the 270 top side. Nick having a solid run, just a couple little bobbles in there.
Little backside torque there. Nick Riggle not having the flow. He had it at the beginning of the run. His line was very creative, but now it's kind of just lulling. He's going from trick to trick.
Well, you can see he seemed frustrated. It looked like his watch broke out there. He's trying to indicate to the judges his watch wasn't working. Going for that big transfer, just missing it.
How much time left? How much time? Check him out, Nick Riggle. There's some creativity. Nice coming off. Little transfer there, and then up, spinning into the top torque stall.
All right, Nick, you had a great run. One of the most creative lines I've ever seen. You know, how are you putting these lines together? You know, how do you see the course different to everyone else?
I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of luck, I guess. I just do the tricks I can do and like link them together in a certain way. I don't really. I don't know. I just do it.
Up next, 99 Street Rookie of the Year.
20 questions. 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 20 questions.
Who best defines your personal music style? Slayer. What is in your CD player right now? Probably the new Eminem. When flying, do you take the window or aisle seat? The window. When skating for fun, do you prefer Vert or street? Street. What's your favorite book? I don't read too much, so Daily Bread or Box Magazine. Within your sport, whose style do you admire most? Everyone. Gel or pudding? Both. What is your favorite superhero? Superman. If you could eat only one kind of food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Pasta.
Sharon Grove is known as the monster, skating out here in all black. 360 to soul grind to start things off. He just skates with so much power.
That 360 to wall ride, oh, going down hard is such a difficult trick. I mean, he goes completely blind, loses sight of the wall, but still locked it on. Now Sven Bokers, this is what it all comes down to. We've seen good runs from Jaron and Aaron. Sven Bokers won back in St. Petersburg. Actually, he's won just about every event coming into this one, riding 3 victories in a row into this event, trying to make it 4 against the top field, starting out with the big 720 and then going alley-oop fish brain up on that wall.
Now pay attention to every trick because he does so many of them. He is known as a guy who does lots of little lip tricks, but you know what? So far he's done the huge 720, a couple flat spins over the spine. He definitely does some big airs as well.
Backside mistrial down that gator pit. Don't forget, that's about a 12-foot drop if you miss it. And he goes blindside, 270 into the Royale, backside, mixing it up here now, getting a whole bunch of different tricks into this run. He's already showed us the big airs. He went over the spine, started out with a huge 720, and now he's showing off those difficult lip tricks as he just misses the true spin alley-oop Mizu, but no problem there with the true spin alley-oop fish brain.
Listen, you can actually hear the points racking up. Sven Bokerst, he just one trick after another.
Like he's in a pinball game out here, just bouncing off every obstacle.
But he's hitting everything. Check, oh, just going down, trying to 450 off. Spinning in and out of grinds, always earns extra points with the judges. Sven Bokerst, just unbelievable run.
Sven, that was another amazing run, man. How are you putting these together every single week?
Yeah, I don't know. When I came here, like almost every competition, when I come there, I think I cannot find a line, but at the end, I find a good line like now, and only I missed 2 tricks. But yeah, I'm happy with my run. But
just a walk in the park for Sven Bokerst. He sits in first place with a 78.50. We're halfway through out here on the street course.
You're watching the X Trials on ESPN2 and ESPN in Nashville. Don't leave because you'll miss it.
Quick recap for those of you that don't know what's going on. Sven Boker sits on top. It's the better of 2 runs out here that count in the final, and we're down to that final run. So everything right now rests on Santiago Asparua's shoulders. He's looking to try to qualify for the 2000 X Games.
Starts out with the fish brain down the ledge box. Awesome line from Santiago, one of the better lines of the weekend. 3 tricks back-to-back, spinning, coming fakie, into and out of things. Keeping that speed, trying to keep his pants up as he goes frontside royale, drops alley-oop fish brain. One of the most stylish skaters on tour, sort of a skater's favorite. He's a fun kid to be around. Makes skating look so great.
People have described him as the Sherman tank of inline skating because he's small, but he's powerful. Just goes really big. When he goes for launches, check that out. Big 540, good style. Spinning around 720 into the bank. That's a pretty awkward landing.
Yeah, landing on that flat bank. Coming in fakie over the spine. Fakie 360 into the wall stall. And then up and out of the spine area of the course. It looks like he's looking for his car, trying to remember where he parked it, just wandering around the course sort of aimlessly. Mike Budnick says, get up here, what are you doing? You still got some time left in your run. Santiago looks like he's gonna set up for one last trick there on the rail. Topside acid all the way down. Good run from Santiago Asparua, lost himself a little bit there at the end, but good tricks.
Big 540, he had some huge launches. He started off with 3 grinds in a row. Here's the big 720. A great combination puts him in second place.
Santiago, the pressure was on. You came out in the second round and put together an L run. Tell me a bit about it.
Well, I just was kind of relax more. Just try to do my tricks that I do in like practice and stuff. So I don't know.
You think it's going to be enough to get you up into the top 3?
I don't know. It's good for me.
Well, Pat Lennon, if he has anything to say about it, will definitely improve. He sits in 9th place right now. He's been doing much better than that this season.
That's the trick he missed in the first round, was a 540 over the quarter pipe. No problem here in the second round. Then Disaster, biggest, most creative trick of the day. Disaster off that small transition to Disaster Royale.
Morgan Pesco in his second pro season, surprising people by making the finals. Not that he's not capable by any means. Check out how creative this line is.
I love that start, the speed that he comes in with and the line that he found. And then fakie 720 over the box. Morgan really is, if he would just show up to more events, he really could emerge as one of the top stars on the tour.
Morgan having a little bit of trouble to finish things off.
Morgan, man, your skates got locked in a hotel room. You came out, you only got 1 run. Looks like that's all you need, though. What's up?
I don't know. They just got locked in a hotel room, so I pretty much had no choice. Came out here after the first run. Only had 1 run. I guess that's all it takes. I just did the same run as prelims, so it's pretty all easy.
Making it look easy. Mike Budnick sits in 3rd place. Coming into his second run here, he was trying to step it up. Nice alley-oop soul grind there. Needed to do a couple different tricks if he wanted to improve.
Sticking to the same line, looks like. Mixing up those lip tricks there, finding every obstacle, working his way around the course. Not enough to improve, stays in 3rd place. Santiago moved up into 2nd, and Sven Boker's trying to go for 4 victories in a row.
Sven Boker, Aaron Feinberg still to skate. They're going to battle it out in San Fran. Then he won in Ontario, then he won in Hermosa. Aaron Feinberg was the #1 street skater in the world. He wants to regain that by beating Sven here. But he had trouble right off the bat. Dropping in, Aaron Feinberg still is capable of having a flawless run from this point on in, but man, what a costly mistake.
We'll see how much it's going to hurt him. Oh, starting out with the 270 into that Vert transition. An amazing start to the run. Aaron knows he's got his work cut out for him, especially after that handicap that he gave himself. Looks like he's doing whatever he has to as he goes fakie into the soul grind, backside royale, or backside farfing into the 540. That's the one that got him in the first round. Aaron definitely raising it a level after that start. Creative line.
Very cool line coming in with the little soul grind now up and over. the little island there with the 540.
If Aaron keeps this thing going at this pace, it's going to be a hard one to judge because he had the fall right at the beginning, but it's a flawless run after that, and it's got so much difficulty. Hate to be a judge right now.
There's a fish brain to finish it off, spinning off 360 degrees. Aaron Feinberg, despite the fall, I'm telling you, man, the difficulty of the tricks he did pull, and he pulled everything perfectly from this point on. Wow. Big 540 up over the box. 73.50, so it hurts him, but not too much. He currently sits in second place. Sam Fogarty with his final chance to make a big impression on the judges, and more importantly on his girlfriend, who's here watching all the way from Australia.
That should make a pretty big impression. Huge climb grind way up on the vert wall. Sam Fogarty trying to work his way back in the top 3.
So you're looking to qualify for the 2000 X Games. You think you made it in?
I don't know. I think it's me and Mike Budnick are the ones that make it. So it really depends on whoever wins, me or whoever plays the time, me or Budnick. So.
Not to upset you, but Santiago hasn't qualified either. He was in second after his run.
Well, then we're screwed because Santi qualified then. No, I hope Santi qualifies because I have more of a chance to qualify in rankings than he does. So I prefer Santi to qualify here than I'd qualify on rankings.
Man, you are such a nice guy. Does that come from your girlfriend, Katie?
Of course it does.
Well, Jaron Grove is our final skater. He's got a good shot of pulling off a victory here, but the rain is coming down. Definitely affecting him here, so the crack team is going to clear off the course, make sure it's dry, and he will get one final chance to knock Sven out of first place.
We're going to start Jaron with a new clock. Wonder if he isn't more comfortable skating in those dark clouds. They seem to follow him everywhere, dressed in all black. He's the monster, always one of the most exciting skaters on tour.
360 to Seoul. You know, he has been landing that all day. Jaron Grove coming out with a bang.
Making the crowd go crazy as he gets upside down over the launch box, coming back the other way. No rain to stop him now, and he is taking advantage of the second round.
The 99 Rookie of the Year, making it look good. Up off the wall ride, skating with so much speed. This is the adrenaline style of Jaron Grove that we're used to seeing. He's already gotten a victory this year on street.
High energy skater, mixing it up now, showing different lip tricks. He went alley-oop X grind on that small ledge box, coming back the other way, topside acid. Jaron Grove trying to put every element into this run. And the element where he excels the most is amplitude.
Jaron's got a very stand-up style, so people don't think of him as one of those sort of techie style skaters, but he's got the ability. Oh, going down on the huge Bio 900. I'm telling you, if he nailed that trick, I don't know. This is going to be a tough one to judge. The big 360 to Seoul grind to start things off. Then it just kept getting better from there.
A lot of pressure on you there. Yeah. Crowd waited here for 10 minutes to dry the ramp. You know, if you messed up, they would have come killed you. Yeah. Man, what was up with that second run?
I don't know. I just said I had to do it, so I landed everything except for the last trick.
That last trick, man, you missed it. You think if you hit it, you would have taken top spot?
Would have been close.
Close indeed. The monster Jaron Grove, despite missing a huge Bio 900, ends out 2 points behind our four-time-in-a-row winner, Sven Bokerst. Santiago Asperua, he's going to the big show, the 2000 X Games. And in the ASA Pro Tour rankings, despite not being here, Eito Yasutoko still sits on top. Sven Bokerst spreads his lead. He's 100 points ahead, but Jaron Grove close behind Aaron Feinberg. That's it for us here from Nashville, Tennessee. But tune in August 19th. That's when all the big fun begins with the X Games.
This has been a presentation of ESPN,
the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to EXPN.com.
Part of the Go Network. Go.com.